My name is Kathleen Martinez.
And I am Alejandro Martinez.
And welcome to Pink Politics, where we give a breakdown of the latest headlines, laws, and what they really mean from a blunt but necessary perspective.
So buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Did you guys know that undocumented immigrants do not get lawyers in this country? Criminals get lawyers in this country for free, but undocumented immigrants, especially children, do not get legal representation.
Are you a little nervous this morning? See? Do you understand what these proceedings here in court are all about? You know what a lawyer is? No? Do you have a lawyer? No? Sophia, good morning. Are you a little nervous this morning? See? You know what a lawyer is?
No.
No? Do you have a lawyer?
Unaccompanied minors are immigrants who come to the border alone, without any parents, without any family. They come on their own to the border. Once they're here at the border, they turn themselves in. They're not trying to cross illegally. They're fucking children, and they get detained. Once they're detained, they're processed into a detention center. Typically, they get placed into some kind of sponsor family, and they're immediately placed in removal proceedings. That's how much our country loves children. We immediately try to deport them to the country that they are obviously fleeing persecution from. Now, what's really, really scary is that there are about 13 Democrats who are sounding the alarm on the Hill. And what they're doing is they're very, very concerned about where the unaccompanied minors are going. A ton of unaccompanied minors are being shipped in flights to Texas. The Trump administration has reached out to the state of Texas to help with facilitating legal services or helping them, but they're reaching out to a commission that only deals with criminal defense, not immigration. Why would they do that? And it's even weirder because they already have a federal contract with the Acacia Justice Center. This Justice Center, for years, has been federally contracted to provide legal services to unaccompanied minors. They contract with attorneys and law students all over the country. They train them for free, and these attorneys represent unaccompanied, undocumented minors in court in removal proceedings. Why is it that this administration is trying to reach out towards a commission that only deals with criminal defense when unaccompanied minors or undocumented immigrants in general are not criminals? This is not criminal court. This is immigration court. It's its own thing. How is a criminal defense commission going to help an unaccompanied minor in immigration proceedings? It's not, because they're not criminals. They need lawyers who know how to represent them in immigration proceedings. Criminal lawyers, unless they are trained in immigration, cannot do that. It's a different area of law. Undocumented immigrants are not criminals. They cannot be because they have not committed a crime by being here without documents. They've committed a civil violation. And this is not even civil law. This is federal immigration law. It's its own thing. You need your own lawyers, and you already have a contract. And what's more, that they have tried to terminate this contract for years. When Trump took office, he tried to terminate the contract with Acacia. He threatened, I'm not going to give you funding anymore because you are representing unaccompanied minors. How dare you help children? You're not doing that any longer. And it's also a temporary contract that expires on July 31st. It expires next week of this year. So why are you reaching out to a commission that provides criminal defense who has no idea what they're doing when it comes to unaccompanied minors or undocumented immigrants in general when you have a contract that you could have renewed? Is it because you owe them $65 million? Maybe. I'm not sure, but you already have a contract with people who can represent them. Second, why are you shipping them to Texas? Why are you shipping undocumented immigrants, unaccompanied minors to Texas? They are already placed in detention centers or facilities or sponsored homes all over the country where they have access to sponsor families, lawyers, legal representation of their own. Why are you needing to send them to Texas? Oh, that's right, because Texas has detention facilities that work strictly with Trump, and they deport faster than any other state in the country. That is not by coincidence. They are sending them to Texas for a reason. They want them gone. And what's more is that the Trump administration owes this non-for-profit over $65 million. So this non-for-profit, who just works off of fucking donations, has been hiring lawyers all over the country to help unaccompanied minors, yet this administration won't even pay them. And they're terminating their contract, and they're asking other commissions to help when they already have one that knows what they're doing, and you owe them money. What's your problem? Yet the Trump administration spent $60 million on a UFC fight at the White House that nobody cared about, and you won't pay your contractors that you owe? I thought this guy was good at business. Isn't that why you guys voted for him? Because he was good at business and you thought that he'd give you a job? He doesn't even know how to pay people who he's in federal contract with. That doesn't make any sense, does it? But neither does his president, I guess. The Acacia Center for Justice represents over 20,000 undocumented, unaccompanied minors. 20,000. I want you to understand that these unaccompanied minors are coming here by themselves. They are placed in removal proceedings right away. They most likely don't know English, right? If they do, they're lucky. But if not, they're sitting here with headphones translating the language from a court. They don't understand how court works. They don't even understand how this country works. They just know that they need to seek safety, that they don't have parents anymore. Can you imagine the trauma from coming from other countries into the United States and having to represent yourself in a language you don't understand and having to be a child, and now you don't even get a lawyer? And you're having a judge look right at you and asking you to defend why you should stay in this country, and you have no idea how to even explain it because you're a child and you shouldn't. And you're not even granted a lawyer. How evil can you be to not only terminate the contract that helps children, but also try to deport them and ship them in these awful detention facilities in Texas? I mean, I can tell you myself as a lawyer, these detention facilities are so inhumane. It is worse than the worst place that you've ever been. You can't even imagine how bad it is. These immigrants are not giving access to medical care, to medication. They have to pay for specific water because their water is toxic and dangerous. I mean, attorneys cannot reach out to their clients in these detention centers. They are doing this for a reason. They're doing this on purpose. This Trump administration is sending children to detention centers in Texas only to deport them back to the countries that they were seeking refuge from. I want to give you an example. I had 2 clients come from Guatemala when I was a baby immigration attorney. Baby. They didn't know Spanish. They didn't know English. They knew a very specific indigenous language that I didn't know how to speak. I got a translator on the phone. We were able to work it out. When they walked into this office, they were like 8 and 10. They didn't have parents with them. And I asked them, why on earth are you here? Where are your parents? What happened? I was so concerned for them because I really didn't understand how any of it worked. It was like first week on the job. They told me through the translator that they came here by themselves from Guatemala. How do 8 and 10-year-old boys come here by themselves through multiple countries? How do they get through Mexico? I was asking all those questions in my head. And then I remembered, because these children are good people, they're children, and because they love their family and they want to seek safety. But this is the best part when I asked them, why did you come here? Because you don't have parents, you don't have family. Why did you want to come here specifically? They said because the cartels have taken over their country, they're recruiting children like wildfire only to hurt other people, and they didn't want to be part of that. 8 and 10-year-olds, they weren't allowed to go to school. They had missing teeth. They couldn't speak English or Spanish. They had no idea how to fend for themselves, and they shouldn't. They're children. Yet they came to the United States because they knew the cartel wouldn't get them there, and the cartel wouldn't recruit them and then force them to hurt other people. And those are the type of people that you want to kick out? Why? Kick out criminals. I think we all agreed that we thought that you were going to kick out criminals, right? Convicted felons. Oh, you're not doing this. Now you're sending children back home. But I thought you were pro-life. I thought you were Christian. I thought you're the party of pro-life, of saving the children. What's all that QAnon bullshit? I don't even remember. But you want to send children back home to a country that'll eat them alive or force them to kill other people? Why? What's the point? And it gets better. Okay, remember how the Supreme Court decided to save birthright citizenship? because they're, Trump's afraid of birth tourism. Well, let me explain how birth tourism actually works. So the concept of birth tourism is people coming to the United States and having children. And having the children for the sole purpose of getting them citizenship or creating anchor babies, which is not a thing, so that the parents themselves can get citizenship. Also not a thing. So there's something called a B-2 visa. It's a tourist visa. So you can enter the country on a tourist visa and you can apply. And in the tourist visa, you can either apply for business or you can apply for tourism, pleasure, right? When it comes to pleasure, it's either visiting and touring or it's actually for medical care. You can use a tourist visa to legally come here for medical care. Now, before, you can prove that you wanted to come to medical, you can use a visa and the embassy would approve you to come give birth in the United States. It was a legitimate legal thing. You could come here on a visitor's visa, give birth, and leave. That was absolutely a thing that could happen. In 2020, things changed a little bit. So the law changed where the concept of birth tourism was an actual term implemented in the law. So now, with birth tourism, if the government can prove that the sole purpose of you using a tourist visa to enter was to give birth in the United States and give your child citizenship, then they could revoke your visa and stipulate that you violated the terms of it. So that could be a problem as well. Outside of that, people are still coming here on tourist visas and giving birth, but now it's going to be a lot harder, because the whole point of the Supreme Court decision was to basically disenfranchise people from coming here to give birth for the sole purposes of committing birth tourism, right? But you can still do that. That's still a thing. You can't come here on a tourist visa and do it, but you can still give birth. Thanks to the Supreme Court for actually having our back for once. You can enter the country, you can give birth, and you can give them citizenship. Greg Abbott, of course, he's fucking psycho, is going after hospitals now. He just signed an executive order, GA57, which weaponizes licensing boards against birth tourism. He's going after hospitals. He's going after doctors and their licenses for advocating for birth tourism, which is actually not a thing. Why is he always going after moms? Why is he always going after hospitals and doctors? It gets even worse. He's going after the board of nursing for hospitals and nurses, and he's actually trying to revoke licenses from people in the state of Texas. For what? Doing their job? What are they going to do? Sorry, you can't give birth here because I don't think you're documented? Because legally they can't ask. Even though he signed some dumb state law a couple years ago when he said that the hospitals have to technically verify whether you're a citizen or not, guess what? No one's doing that. No one's comfortable enough asking a pregnant woman in labor if they're a citizen or not, and they're not going to do that. So now he's going even farther, and he's going after hospitals, he's going after doctors, and he's going after nurses. Greg Abbott is a royal piece of shit. He is a burning piece of trash in the fire, and it needs to be put out. He needs to be gone. He needs to expire. I have no idea why he is still here or why anyone in the state of Texas would think that that's a great guy. We should pick him to lead the state of Texas. What has he done for you guys? Nothing. Do you see him advocating and campaigning? Did you ever see him campaign at all? No. You even see Ted Cruz campaigning, but you don't see him. I even saw Ken Paxton campaign for like 5 seconds, but not him. What are you doing voting for him? This order, it lets agencies revoke licenses, cut off state contracts, and deny benefits and refer cases to criminal prosecution for allowing people to give birth in the United States. Do you know how much of a fucking waste of time that is? That is ridiculous. That is unconstitutional. It's illegal. The whole order is scaring people. That's what Trump is doing. Trump works with Abbott. He's telling Abbott, make this law, make this order so that you can encourage people not to give birth here in the United States because we lost at the Supreme Court and I'm having a temper tantrum. The whole thing is fucking stupid. It's not going to work. People are going to still cross that border. They're still going to come into Texas and they're still going to give birth because they have birthright citizenship. Turns out it's still a thing. Oh my God. They have already referred 2 Texas hospitals to the state attorney general over a billboard placed in foreign countries advertising birth packages. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I don't think that's happening at all. Okay, those are our updates for today. If you guys want to help, you need to donate to the Acacia Justice Center. They're the ones. You got to give your money to them if you want to help children. If you care about children, if you're pro-life, donate to them. I'm going to put a link right here where you can donate to them. They train lawyers, law students to represent unaccompanied minors in this country. You need to donate to them. You need to spread the awareness. If you can't donate, not even $1, at least spread awareness. Post this somewhere. Post their information or their link on your story. Lawyers and law students, I need you guys to step up. If you don't work in immigration, they will train you. They will train you for free. They've done that for so many lawyers, just so you can represent these unaccompanied minors. And you don't need to be local. Most of these hearings are virtual. Help them out. This is how you donate, and this is how you help. Thank you, guys.